Hi, I'm Woody Huffines. I own the Nerds to Go in McKinney and Frisco, Texas. This is Tech for the Untechnical. And what's going to drive the Internet of Things market? Could it be real estate? This year at the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, just read an article about the CES, this Consumer Electronics Show, big show in Las Vegas. All the cool trinkets and electronics and consumer electronics stuff comes out, and they had a speaker this year that talked about what's going to drive the Internet of Things market. In fact, he wanted to call it the intelligence of things market. And his opinion was that it was going to be the real estate industry, not just commercial real estate, but residential real estate. Now, I think you can probably make a pretty good argument for putting things in commercial buildings because that gives the landlord the ability to do leak detection and motion sensing and some security things through an Internet of Things device that gives them the ability to run it over a network so they don't have to rewire the whole building. That will especially be true for the things that you can put in aftermarket that will allow the landlord to look over that's especially true of the things that you'll be able to add, like aftermarket, if you will, that the landlord will be able to put in to monitor the building. So while there's an argument for the real estate business on the commercial side, what is the argument on the residential side? The idea on the residential side is that buyers will be willing to pay more for smart homes, a home that comes all put together with all the smart home technology in it, that the builder could put these things in it and that it would have value in the market. Well, that question remains to be seen. Certainly, there's probably two challenges with the Internet of Things market, and the first is that there's security issues, whether people know it or not, and that's becoming more apparent and people are talking about it more. But the second thing is getting all the stupid things to work together, because you've got light bulbs and Alexas and different things that have different protocols, and having them all work together and integrated in one place means that you're having to use skills on the Amazon Echo side or something to get these devices to play well together. And if you had an integrated system, which we talked a little bit about, that Amazon, Zigbee, Z-Wave are getting together and trying to develop a standard, that would certainly help. There's two things that make Internet of Things devices difficult for a home market. The first is just integrating all of them, because you have so many different vendors and nobody makes a full suite of all the things that you might want in the house. And second is the security stuff that we've been talking about. So the question is, will home buyers want to pay for an Internet of Things smart home or an intelligence of things smart home? Will it pay off for the builder to go in and put that stuff in the home? And that question remains to be seen. As soon as people start talking about Internet of Things and from a builder standpoint that all this stuff's going to be integrated into the house, personally, I remember the house that we had when I was growing up. We bought this house and had an intercom system. Man, that's so cool. There's an intercom at the front door, an intercom in the kitchen. The intercom in the kitchen was the master intercom. It had little buttons so that you could call the bedrooms from the intercom. Never worked. Not once. Had some friends that had those things. You couldn't understand anything over them. And then you had this big thing on the wall that if you wanted it out, you'd had to get somebody to come in and pull it out and then sheetrock the wall. And well, every time they talk about having a smart home with all the Internet of Things devices in the home, I remember that intercom system. Because remember, if the vendor that you pick to put all that stuff in goes out of the business, then you have a bunch of dumb devices in your house. You may be looking at it using the camera as a doorstop. So is the Internet of Things smart home something that realtors can do? And not only do you have the people that get completely out of the business, Sonos, which makes really high-end, really nice Internet of Things connected speakers so that you can put audiophile quality speakers all through your house, and the technology to do it so that you don't have a lag from one room to the next. There's a bunch of neat stuff. And Sonos came out and said, yeah, we'll give you 30% off your next device. And these speakers are between $300 and $1,500. You can have 30% off of your next device, and we're going to brick the one that you got. Really? That's hard for an audiophile to deal with, because there's a bunch of really great speakers out there. The Klipsch Heresies, for example. Those speakers are 60 years old, and they still sound great. So if you have an Internet of Things smart home, the first question is, will the stuff get bypassed by better technology, and the supplier, in the case of Sonos, is going to call and say, yeah, well, look, you need to take all that stuff out and put all new stuff in because we've moved on, we've got better technology? Or worse still, they just get out of the business altogether and you got a bunch of bricks in the house. So until Internet of Things security gets better, or we have a good standard, or really we come to a little bit higher up the curve so that all the things are working together, that you've got a good vendor to supply all of it, and it's supplied in such a way that you wouldn't have to strip it out of the home, I think we got some issues on saying that a smart home is just around the corner. Now, again, commercial real estate buildings possibly, but smart homes, it might be something that you need to look at. And if you do look at it, it might be a good idea to put stuff in that's easy to take out in case the vendor bows out or they decide that they're going to change their technology and turn all your stuff into doorstops or bricks. I'm Woody Huffines. I own the Nerds to Go in McKinney and Frisco, Texas. This is Tech for the Untechnical. Hit the subscribe button, mash the thumbs up, share it with your friends, give us a comment below. Thanks,